10 Things You Didn't Know About Layton Simon, also known as Lamar Silas from the Star's BMF series. Lamar Silas is a character in the Star's BMF series, portrayed by actor Kofi-Abrefa. The character Lamar Silas is loosely based on former drug dealer Layton Simon, who is still alive. Here are 10 things you probably didn't know about Layton Simon. Number 1. Layton saved his mom's life when he was 8 years old. Layton traveled down south using his mom's car and was able to get his hands on a gun that he took back home to Detroit. When Layton got home, he heard a loud noise and then heard his mother scream. 2 drug addicts had broken in and were beating up his mother. Layton grabbed his gun, and when he turned the corner, he saw the burglars slamming his mom against the wall. The addicts told them that they knew there was $80,000 in the home along with some drugs, and demanded that they tell them where the money and drugs were hidden. Layton told them to put his mother down, and one of the burglars called him a punk. Layton says being called out of his name made him want to kill the addicts. When they finally let her go, Layton's mother stood between him and the burglars, refusing to move. Layton demanded that she move so he could shoot them, but she begged him not to. Layton eventually calmed down and let them leave. He says the incident was his first gangster moment, and it gave him the confidence he needed to survive in the streets. Number 2. Layton was 9 years old the first time he went to jail. Layton was arrested during the Detroit riots of 1967 for stealing some baseball caps. He says that he was heading home with about 20 of them that he stole, and several National Guard tanks and police cars drove by him. Layton says that as the last police car approached him, an officer spotted him with the stolen merchandise and arrested him. Layton says law enforcement had a jail on wheels. When they found out his age, they let him go. Number 3. Layton started selling drugs when he was 14 years old. It was the 1970s in Detroit, which was once known as the Motor City, was becoming the murder capital of the United States. Dozens of street gangs took control of Detroit's booming drug trade, and Layton decided to join. He eventually met Harold Stinson, a drug kingpin, who taught him how to keep a low profile, manage relationships with suppliers, and survive in the streets as a drug dealer. Number 4. Layton bought his first car when he was 15 years old. Layton didn't have a driver's license, but that didn't stop him from driving. He bought a 1972 Lincoln Town car, straight cash, after selling drugs for a few months. His friend warned him that paying for the car in cash wouldn't help his credit score, but Layton wasn't worried about building his credit. He gave his father, who was also a drug dealer, the money, and at 15, Layton owned a brand new Lincoln Town car. Number 5. Layton has never harmed a child. In the first season of BMF, Lamar runs into Big Meech's sister Nicole, who is with her boyfriend, Darius. Lamar grabs Nicole and tries to put her in his car, but Darius intervenes. Nicole escapes, but Lamar stabs Darius twice and then drives away as Darius dies. Layton says that the incident never occurred, and the scene bothered him because he would never harm a child. He says that although he was a drug dealer, he mentored children. He had a boxing team and a baseball team to help keep kids off the streets. Some of the children he mentored even ended up becoming politicians. Number 6. Layton shot Big Meech 18 times. After Layton's brother was murdered, Big Meech kept running his mouth about it, and Layton told him to stop. A few months later, Layton's nephew was found beat to death, and Meech started running his mouth again. Layton was on his way home one night, and he sees Meech with about 30 of his friends at the Coney Island restaurant. Layton pulled up on Meech and tried to shoot him, but Meech was hiding under the dashboard of his car. Layton says he shot Meech 18 times, and one of the bullets hit him in his neck. Number 7. Layton claims Ashford and Simpson were drug dealers and his biggest competition. According to Layton, Big Meech and the 50 Boys weren't his greatest rival in the drug game. Instead, it was Ashford and Simpson, the husband and wife recording group, responsible for writing and producing some of Motown's biggest hits. Nicholas Ashford grew up in Michigan, about 30 minutes away from Detroit, making Layton's claims believable. The group wrote and produced some of the most popular songs of all time, including Let's Go Get Stoned by Ray Charles and Ain't No Mountain High Enough by Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell. After writing and producing numerous hit songs, Ashford and Simpson started singing and performing themselves. Solid was the group's biggest hit, and according to Layton, the group sold solid rocks. Ashford and Simpson's 1982 hit single Street Corner includes the following lyrics. They say, I've got a dime, I've got a nickel bag. Oh, it's the best stuff you've ever had. Number 8. Layton may have really sang, You Can't Stop the Rain during violent acts. Layton decided to plead the fifth, refusing to answer when DJ Vlad asked him if he really sang the song You Can't Stop the Rain while killing one of the 12th Street Boys. The incident was seen in the first season of the Star's BMF series. Lamar is speaking to Slick, a member of the 12th Street Boys gang, when he all of a sudden starts singing You Can't Stop the Rain, which was originally released in 1985 by the R&B group Loose Ends. Moments later, Lamar stabs Slick and continues to sing the song. Slick bleeds to death, and based on Layton refusing to answer questions about the incident, it may have really happened. Number 9. Layton respects Big Meech for not being a snitch. Layton says that Big Meech kept their beef in the streets, unlike Edric E.D. Boyd, who, Layton claims, called the cops on him on multiple occasions. E.D. is the former drug dealer who supplied Big Meech in Southwest T before they established the BMF and were referring to themselves as the 50 Boys. E.D. says that Layton tried to kill his wife, but Layton says that's a lie. Despite beefing for decades and trying to kill each other on multiple occasions, Layton says he would be willing to sit down and speak to Big Meech when he's released from prison. Number 10. Layton says he was never sent to a mental institution. In the Star's BMF series, we see Lamar Silas in a mental institution and his cousin Alvin, played by Donnell Rawlings, help him escape from the institution. Layton says the rumor that he was sent to a mental institution is false, explaining that people thought he was crazy but he had sense. He says after his brother was murdered, he didn't go to the police because he's not a snitch, so the incident was stressful and difficult to deal with, but it didn't make him go crazy. What do you think about the Star's BMF series? Are you a Lamar Silas fan? Share your thoughts in the comments section below.